Today we are going to make some cat toys from everyday items that you have at your house, or if not, that hopefully you can find. My name is Alina and I'm an educator here at Seattle Humane. The things that we are going to use today are toilet paper rolls. We've got some fleece, or you can use like an old t-shirt, something out of cotton that you can cut. Definitely ask your parents before you go around cutting any clothes or blankets. This is old fleece that we have donated. We also have maybe like your cat's favorite toy. It's a plastic egg. We have a little bell inside. We'll talk a little bit about that later. Maybe a couple of boxes and some cardboard. We're gonna make a cardboard feeder out of a Kleenex box and some toilet paper rolls, if you can see that there. And then, of course, one really important thing that you always want to have for your cats are treats. These are one of Stoffy's favorite treats, my cat's favorite treats, and treats that we use at the shelter here. Mud Bay sells them. A lot of other stores sell them as well. It's freeze-dried salmon. It's pretty good. And then catnip. Catnip's also a really good one. So the first toy that we are going to make is this little fluffy ball. It's going to have a string that goes around the middle. So I'm going to walk you a couple steps at a time as to how to make one of those. So you're going to start off with a strip of fleece or cotton. It's going to give a little stretch. That's always good. You're going to fold it in half. It's going to be about 12 inches. Fold it in half hot dog style, so you make kind of a long tube. And then you're going to take a pair of scissors and you're going to make tiny cuts all the way down the end, just till about the top part. But you don't want to cut all the way through, because then you'll cut the little fringes off. So you want to go all the way down the fleece or fabric, cut all the way down until you have these little fringes all the way along, and it'll look like this guy. The next step to make your toy is you're going to roll it up kind of like a little sausage. So you got fringes on both sides. That's going to make it really interesting for the cat. You're going to take a skinnier piece of fabric, nice and long. This is going to be the handle of your toy. So however long your cat likes, or however tall maybe you are, you can play with your cat. I like long strings because my cat tends to have sharp claws. And if you have a kitten, it's especially nice to have a longer string because they have very sharp claws. And you're going to tie it around the middle of your sausage toy here. Just like that. And then the next step is to fluff it. You're going to fluff it in a ball, crinkle it around so it kind of looks like a little ball here with lots of little fuzzy things to catch your cat's attention. And there we go. You got your first little pom-pom toy. Cats really like to play with this, especially good for kittens. You always want to make sure that you're watching a cat with any toy that you give it, whether it's homemade or store-bought, in case any little parts come off and they can't swallow them, especially kittens tend to like put things in their mouth. So making sure you're watching your cat as you're playing with your toy. So that's one toy you can make. The other one out of fleece or fabric you can make is called a catnip like dumpling, or a catnip wonton, sometimes you might hear it. You're going to start with a triangle, again of fleece or fabric, put a little catnip in the middle, fold the top down so you have just a single line like this. And then you're going to tie the two ends in a knot so it makes a little ball in the middle. And you've got the catnip in the middle. For either of these fleece toys, you can dunk them in catnip. That's what my cat really likes. And then they'll be fun for hours. So those are really cool toys that you can make out of old blankets or old shirts or something like that that are easily cut apart. The next toy that we are going to make is a treat dispenser. So if you have toilet paper rolls at home, hopefully you've got some empty ones or paper towel rolls, you can cut them to whatever size you like. It's pretty nice. You can use a whole bunch of different sizes. You're going to take your roll and you're going to punch holes in it on the side. And depending on how many holes you punch in the roll, determines how hard of an activity it is for your cat. So what this is going to do is you're going to make a little pocket in the toilet paper roll, and I can show you guys how to do that step by step. Put treats inside, and your cat is going to have to chase it around and knock it around to try and get those treats out of the hole. So depending on how big your treats are, you need to make the holes kind of bigger or smaller. You can do the holes with scissors, make the holes with scissors, or I just use a pen. Just be careful not to poke yourself. And you can put a whole bunch of holes in your toilet paper tube all along at different sizes. Once you've got as many holes as you want in that tube, you're going to take the ends, push them together like an envelope, and then fold over the sides. I have to do it on the table here. It's a little hard to do in the air. And then you fold over those two pointy ends, and it makes a little envelope. And then on the side that's still open, you're going to put some of those treats inside. I'll show you with one of the treats here. Let's see. Tiny one here. A little bit of salmon. Oof, strong salmon. Pop it in the envelope, and then you're going to do the same thing. You're going to push the tops over the top of each other so that there's no gap. And then fold the corners down over the top. And it makes just kind of like a packet. Your cat can smell it through those holes, and it's their goal to try and get out the treat. If you have a little kitten or maybe a cat that's getting a little frustrated with this toy, sometimes like my cat, if he can't get the food right away, he'll just kind of give up. And then I feel bad that he can't get his treat. So the easiest way to do it is either open one end, and then they can dig with their paw and try and get the treat out, or just make bigger holes. That way the treat is easily accessible and can fall out a little easier. So it depends on how gifted your cat is at solving puzzles. Depends on how you want to create your little puzzle feeder. The other toy that you can make with a toilet paper roll is a little pouch. You can do this actually for a lot of different animals, like critters. We'll put hay inside there. For cats, you could put a treat inside there, and then they'd have to pull the little rings apart. You could put a bell in there or some sort of other toy, but you always want to make sure if you put a bell in there that you're going to watch them so that they do not swallow the bell, because that would be very bad, or string or anything like that. So the way you want to make one of these is you take a toilet paper roll. It's pretty simple, and you're going to cut little rings off of the toilet paper roll. And then when you have a whole bunch of them, you're just going to thread them through and around each other to make kind of a circle or a ball. This one can be kind of hard to get started if you have a whole lot of smaller rings. So I like to start with the bigger rings, and then you can move on to the smaller rings. Again, to make it harder or easier for your cat, depends on how many rings you want to put on there. And again, if you have anything small inside, like a bell, like I showed at the rig, you always want to make sure you're watching your cat so that your cat wouldn't eat the bell on accident. All right, that's one toy you can make with the toilet paper. The last one we're going to talk about for the toilet paper rolls is an enrichment feeder or puzzle feeder. A little more involved in making this one, but it's a Kleenex box. You can use any kind of size. You got squares, you got the tiny flat ones. You want to make sure that you have cut off a spot that you can insert the toilet paper rolls in. See if I can see the light there. You want to make sure that all of the plastic bits are off of your Kleenex box if it comes with any plastic on the top, nothing that they could eat. And then you're just going to take a whole bunch of these toilet paper rolls, and this one has them glued together, so you can glue the toilet paper rolls together, or you can use hot glue or white Elmer's glue and glue them to the sides so they can't come out. Now you can either stand it upwards, upright like that, or you could put it down on the side. Sometimes you might even see them zip tied to like a chair or something, depending on how hard you want to make it. And then you're going to put treats inside those little toilet paper rolls like that. And your cat's got to dig it out with his foot or her foot. Different types of treats might be a little harder for a cat. If you have kind of kibble-sized treats, they might end up falling way down back, and that might be kind of fun to watch them try and dig around. The nice thing about this one too is that maybe you could put some on the edges, kind of like here, so they can smell them. Gives them a little easier option of getting it out. Like I said, Staffy tends to get very frustrated when he can't get a treat, my cat at home, and so he tends to give up. So I like giving him little easier options so that when he gets tired of digging around, he can just get a treat more easily. The cool thing about these toys is that they offer a chance of your cat to kind of use their brain and solve a puzzle, just like you would for like a Sudoku puzzle or a crossword or something to keep your brain active, or you might do it in school. This is a good way for your cats to keep their brains active because they have to solve a puzzle and to figure out how to get that food out of that toilet paper roll. So these are really cool. We use these a lot in our shelter. We use a lot of different handmade toys that we can either reuse or that they're really easy to use so that we don't have to worry about washing the toy between cats because we wouldn't want to spread germs. So the last toy I'm going to talk about is more of an enrichment item. It's something for the cats to do to make them feel good, and it is a scratching little block here. So you probably saw a scratcher at different stores at Petco's and stuff, but you can actually make one at home. It's actually pretty easy and kind of fun to do. So you take any box that has those like corrugated sides, if you can see that there. It's got those openings. So that's the corrugated side of the box. And that is going to make the scratcher part. And you can take any size box you want, as much cardboard as you have. You can make a giant one if you wanted. You could make a whole scratching castle. But you're going to take the box and the cardboard, and you're just going to insert the cardboard into the box like that all along, and you just tape them or glue them all together in the box, and it's going to make a homemade scratcher. So that's also one toy that you can make for your cats. Put some catnip on it or some freeze-dried salmon, and they will love it. So hopefully you guys learned something new, a new way to make a toy today. If you have any questions about instructions or anything like that, feel free to contact us. You can check out our virtual shelter website and some other options online. Hope you guys enjoyed it, and we'll see you next time. Bye.